know which you'd rather play with. It's Psycho Pigs UXB. It's obscure Japanese coin-op time with what was in Japan called Butasan by Jeleco, a game where you play a pig and you throw bombs at other pigs, as per the intro here. Each of the pigs has a different set of characteristics, and it can be a 1 or 2 player game, and each bomb has a number on it which starts counting down from the time you throw the bomb at the other pigs. So it's a kind of Fast and Furious arcade game that really didn't make much headway in the West, except US Gold somehow managed to end up with the license and then rename it as Psycho Pigs UXB. And it's the game with that advert, one that was reported to the Advertising Standards Authority by 8 people with a complaint that was upheld, and they said it was offensive and exploitative. US Gold, however, said it was a humorous advert in the European style. Presumably the European style they meant was the one that was on those Astra satellite channels late at night. Incidentally, Barbarian has just come out. Vixen is coming out at roughly the same time. So US Gold are presumably using the nature of this advert to hang the game on because it's not a known franchise. The advert also implies the game had got good reviews even before the game was out. Again, they're trying to manipulate the games buying public into thinking this is some kind of sexy super game that they must own. We'll start off on the Commodore 64. The game was coded by Software Creations in Manchester. And the code with the C64 version also did Slice By, a rather good C64 game. So you've got some Tim Follin music going on, and if you hadn't worked it out, I Am the Pink Pig just had the number 8, and I picked out the number 12 now. Don't worry, if you thought it was difficult to tell the characters apart on the C64, it will get worse. There you go, that's level 1 completed, with a very generous timer of 2:41 left. Over to the Spectrum. I'm just going to redefine the keys. You'll notice there's a key for lie on this version, because in the arcade version you can actually duck down and avoid any bombs, which you can't on the C64 version, or the Amstrad when we come to that. Right, so which one am I? I am the one that's lying down at the moment, because what you can do is you just lie down and you become invulnerable, and you can let all the computer pigs wipe each other out until there's only one left, and then you can basically throw bombs at them like that. And that's not cheating, because the game lets you do that, and that is why the C64 version doesn't have the lie down thing. And it's over to the MSX with a version coded by the same guy who did the Spectrum version at Icon Design, apparently, so presumably Software Creations outsourced it to Icon Design for the MSX and Spectrum version. It took me a long time to load this game, 3 different MSXs I had to try, and eventually got it running on my Panasonic MSX1. And it's ostensibly the same as the Spectrum. Well, it's completely the same, if we're honest, with the same sloppy controls, as highlighted by the Games Machine, who gave the Spectrum version 52% criticising the slow keyboard and joystick response. And you can play this as a 2-player game on all these versions, and I'm told it's actually quite good fun. Now, the Amstrad version, the coder of the MSX and Spectrum version coded an initial version which US Gold rejected. That's right, US Gold rejected a game as being so bad they didn't want to publish it. So it was sent back to Software Creations, and Mike Follin created another version in 1 week. So it's looking very crude on the Amstrad, like something Amsoft had published perhaps 3 or 4 years before. But I Am the Pink Pig, and it's silent, but the music will start. There we go. It moves. It speeds up a lot when there's not much on the screen, granted. You can't duck down in this version, it's only the Spectrum and MSX where you can do that. Amstrad Action gave this 28% and said a tenner or £15 for this. It will be dodgy enough as a budget game. And I'd also note Chubby Gristle was on the previous page getting 59% compared to 28% for this. You'll notice these sprites are soaring to keep the speed up when they overlap. I mean, for a game coded in a week, it's not bad. Over to the C64. Zap gave this 60% and also criticised the price. The bomb throwing animation on the 64 is also really bad, and the backgrounds are so sparse. You should be able to create craters with the bombs, as per the arcade and the Spectrum version, but the Amstrad and the C64 don't get that. Level 3 on the C64 is a bonus level, which goes on forever, well, 1 minute. We have to kiss pigs that appear out of holes. It's after level 3 on the Spectrum, Amstrad and MSX. It's after level 2 on the C64. And here's that same bonus level on the Spectrum. It just goes on forever. It just needs to be 20 seconds. It goes on for a full minute. Amstrad version, looking particularly ugly. So you've got different colour pigs here, and they're all supposed to have different characteristics. I just don't think that's in the game. Yeah, if there is different characteristics, it is not. It might be in the movement. I mean, the animation is appalling. Some of those pigs aren't even just being animated. I've got a protective suit on, like in kind of Bomberman and things like that. I mean, it's kind of related to that game, isn't it? It's one of those Japanese games. It's supposed to be a cutesy game with bombs, and US Go went, no, that's not what we want. We've got to do these really aggressive pig things and on the cover and use sexualised advertising to try and get people to buy it. We're back on the MSX again. I'm the Peppa Pig just by the start. There you go. I'm lying down there, and you can just keep on lying down. On the Spectrum and MSX, you can actually hold a direction when you're lying down and you'll move slightly. And I went to lie down there and I accidentally hit the reset key on the MSX. So that's as far as we're going on the MSX after a couple of hours of trying to load it. Back to the Spectrum. And this is round 4. It's a fairly easy game. I'm skipping the pig introductions now because they're completely pointless. You're not learning about a new enemy, you're just kind of being... Oh, look, here's a slightly different graphic. It will do the same as all the other graphics. So you do get the craters. The craters, you can touch the other pigs and the craters don't hurt you, so you can walk over them. C64 version. Up to round 9. And this is ugly as... I mean, the grey ones. The grey pigs and this background. Oh dear. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's quite fun. Planning the, so the bombs don't start ticking down until a pig picks them up, and then you can create chain reactions. But it's just so poor, and I'm going to annoy people because so many people have said on Blue Sky to me, "Oh, I love that game." Really? And it never came out on budget, so people would have paid full price for this. 2 players, I can see it, but most people aren't playing 2 players, are they? We got there's the referee wearing kind of one of those Freddie Mercury leather hats. Anyway. And the bombs flash to tell you they're about to exploding. Stay away. It's so crude. And the background 64 doesn't need to look this bad. Why? They've got this stipple background to try and make it look less dull, but they've had no time or effort been put into this game. I mean, if you're coding an Amstrad version in 1 week, with all the sprite support on the 64. I mean, how long did this take? 2 days? You know, on the Amstrad, you've got to do all the coding to get the sprite moving. That's round 10 complete. And it's another interminable bonus round. A minute of just running around, kissing pigs. And here's the bonus round on the Spectrum, which, as I mentioned, appears a level earlier. There's some slight level discrepancy between the two, with the Z80 and 6502 versions. And we're on to level 10 on the Spectrum. We've got Beigey, who is nervous and timid. Although he's not very beige on this, is he? Oh, dear. Just strip everything out of the game. Why don't you use software creations? Incidentally, someone said to me on Blue Sky the other day, Chinny, I was watching some of your old videos and I went to support you on Patreon and I couldn't find it. And the answer is, that was discontinued when the channel stopped being weekly. But there is now Ko-Fi, which I'll put a link to on the screen now, which is more kind of an ad hoc thing. So if you want to support the channel, and if you're kind enough to do that, you can go there. Round 11, and thanks to everyone who supports the channel. Oh, there's a new ChinnyVision podcast out, by the way, as well, with Carlos of Bite High No Limit. Check that out as well. The level limits are so ridiculous. 3 minutes when you can clear these levels in about 40 seconds. And this is the Amstrad version on round 11. It's, yeah, I mean, there's something here, and it's a decent arcade game, but this is just knocked out so quickly and marketed so bizarrely. And it's not as much fun as Bomberman, is it? No. Which, granted, wasn't around where it was around on the Spectrum, but in a different format, not in a multiplayer way. And the speeding up, I'm sure that's just a side effect of the coding. What colour's this? It's pink and red. It's magenta and red. Which never seems to come out that well on the capture. Right, yeah, I mean, I'm on infinite lives now. I just want to get through to the end of the game, although it's not that hard. And the end of the game is going to be coming very, very soon. Amstrad version isn't as easy as the Spectrum version or the MSX version, but then again, you can't duck down at any point just to avoid any explosion, meaning you can complete the game in one go. Congratulations, you are the new champion pig. Yes, there are 12 levels, and that is it. But is it any better on the Spectrum? Has the Spectrum got more than 12 levels? 12 levels? Oh! I'm sure it didn't have 12 levels on the arcade. 12 levels. Yes, congratulations. I mean, these people haven't understood the original Japanese game, have they? With these aggressive-looking pigs in a... What is that? What's going on? Congratulations, you have been conned by US Gold. You do on the Spectrum and MSX get this, tells you your stats about how well you played. And this is round 12 on the C64. It's, yeah, there's just kind of two poorly defined grey graphics running around, which are enemy pigs. And as I say, remember, they can touch you. It's the bombs that kill, not touching the enemy pigs. Congratulations, round complete. The game is fully finished. 12 levels in all these versions. And another thing missing from these versions that you get in the arcade, apparently in the arcade, you can temporarily stun the other pigs by kissing them. Apparently. That's been missed out as well. 12 levels. 12 levels. Ah! Psycho Pigs UXB, something US Gold desperately tried to market with a controversial advertising campaign because they didn't understand Japanese gaming and didn't want to market a kind of cutesy pig game. So they thought, teenage boys, they're going to like psychotic pigs. and we use sex to sell the game as well. Oh, and we pay Software Creations about £2.50 to create the game, and what we get is a game with about the same level of care put into it as a shoehorned in $1.99 Mastertronic game of the era. And an icon design being involved is no surprise in terms of shoddy budget games. On all the versions, I dare say there's fun to be had with the two-player mode, but sloppy controls on the Spectrum and MSX versions, ill-defined graphics so you can't tell where you are, and just 12 levels, that's all there is. C64 version, really poor graphics, lack of attention to doing any kind of background. Music's good on all of these, but short, but it's Tim Follin, so you know, it's going to be good. And then the CPC version, which looks like an Amsoft game from 1984. I'd be interested to see what that rejected Amstrad CPC version is like, although, to be honest, I think we all know it's going to be just like that MSX port. Overall, this was actually a promising arcade game that could have easily been converted well to the 8-bits, but what we got is a game shunted onto our UK 8-bits in a week, and boy, does it show.